Currently, when it comes to economic development, you can't skip the first step, which is agriculture, because this is the only activity which is within everybody's reach. Everybody lives from it. Often, it is enough simply to improve or modernize agriculture before moving on to industrialization or the tertiary sector. One thing that is within the reach of the population is agriculture. Let us stop there. This is why I have chosen this particular market opportunity. Mr. Zadi set a good example by pitching in, and the result was a huge plantation of tall rubber trees in the village. A very successful initiative which encouraged the people of Yacoli de Bua to follow suit. But here again, there was no room for improvisation. Training was given to these new farmers in order to increase their productivity. The results say it all. The hectares of tree nurseries around the village are evidence of this. He wanted to see tree nurseries everywhere in the village. And in the villages, there are people who are able to make their living from the tree nurseries alone. They need a large tree nursery area in which they graft the trees and sell them to people who want to create plantations. They make a living from it. They can easily make 90,000 hectares, or rather plants, which they then in turn sell to other planters. That is how they do it. They dedicate their lives to these nurseries from which they derive not only their livelihood, but also a sense of well-being. My plantation is 25 hectares, of which 8 are currently in use. It was created in 87 and bleeding of the trees started in 92, 19 years. But that's not the whole area. It's only the first 15 hectares that are 19 years old. Every year you plant trees aged in proportion with the numbers of years of growth. In agricultural terms, we call this cloning. It collects the latex in a cup, and we later take this to a factory. A fund has now been set up in the village to help people invest in plantations or other things. Unfortunately, this fund has been badly managed. It has to be managed by the powers that be. If they manage it badly, who is going to question them? No one. This led him to understand that you can't make development happen without the involvement of those most directly affected. At the plantation, set an example for farmers and showed them that they too can help with planting. There are youths from the village who are also employed on this plantation. Therefore, we really profited from this plantation. The rubber plantations provide a monthly income. They live as if they were civil servants in town. In this village, everyone is a planter. Here, there is no young man who does not participate. This is all you can say. Whether in the town or in the village, there is not a single young man without a plantation. With them, I try to assess their needs in terms of accommodation, food, schooling, the needs of every inhabitant. We determined a daily cost of living, and this must be met. Should I be the one to pay for it? Should the town pay for it? Or should they do all what is necessary to satisfy their own needs? That was the first question we answered. The second thing that seemed very significant to us was that they were relying solely upon me. And so I said, no, it can't continue like this. You know, I'm not enormously rich. I work, and I must make use of what little I have. Should I not use it for myself? and for my family. Every month must work. I will help you for another 5 years or so. But those who don't plant, the walls and fences around my house will become taller and no one will be allowed in. Let's make a wager. Let's say that in 5 years, everyone must have something. Everyone must have made something for themselves. Anyone I don't see working during this 5 years period, well, this person is finished. But as before, there was trust. They need me, so I think it is sort of a bet. This is a bet in which both sides win. Basically, it's in their own interest. I don't say to them, well, you should come and work for me, but rather I say to them, do everything you need to do in order to earn money, in order to meet your own needs, so that they are in turn satisfied. I must give them the necessary incentives to work. There is a processing factory for tree growers. We taught them to create tree nurseries, to graft plants, to plant them, to take care of them, and to drain them. From training to having a very strong common vision, training and implementation. That is why they are working. As production rose, a processing plant had become a necessity, and Mr. Zadi put his mind to it, resulting in Yacoli Dubua's first latex processing plant, where the latex from the village's plantations is processed. The establishment of this factory could represent a trap for the young men of Yacoli Dubua, who might prefer to work there instead of developing their own rubber plantations, but Mr. Zadi kept his eyes open. I said, it's not in their interest. He who wants to go and work in the factory can go there. But how much is he going to earn per month as income? 40,000? 50,000? If he makes a plantation of 5 hectares, he can earn 300,000 francs per month from rubber. It's easy to understand that they don't have to be simple workers and that it is in their best interest to be their own employer. So they have chosen something that might be difficult, but which is profitable in the long term. For the wealth of the village, it was important for the people to speak the same language and communicate with one another. Hence, the radio station ONG, known as UINE, which serves as the basis for Yacoli Dubua's development project. Trust means good communication, mutual understanding, having more or less the same vision and one that is understood by everyone. It's a way of explaining, of starting what you can do thanks to this communication. Good communications enables everyone to see where you are heading, and then what message you wish to convey, ensuring that this message is properly deciphered by the various players, whether it's those who stayed here, myself, or all those who surround me. We have a radio station here to communicate amongst ourselves and also with others, because the results we obtain here must be known. Others must know what we have done. Communication is extremely important in life. What do you think? What you send out as a message, this message must be decoded so that we can understand each other. If we don't understand each other, we cannot build together.
De manière à ce que vous puissiez vous comprendre. Si on ne se comprend pas, on ne peut pas construire ensemble.